No one would guess this investment, and it's one of the biggest investments. It's growing right now. You guys have straight access to Gary. This guy creates wealthy people. That's what he does. A secret cash machine.
Exactly. And you got to protect that cash flow. So you want to make sure you have a hedging program in place.
Hey guys, what's going on? Andy Elliott. Today in this video, I'm going to teach you, as a matter of fact, Gary is going to teach you, which is why I grabbed him because he's an expert at this, the number one investment in 2026. And by the way, that you didn't know about. And you're like, all right, what did I know about? I promise you can't guess what I'm about to talk about, okay? And what I love is when I got with Gary, I have a lot of people making a lot of money with what Gary is doing with these investments and what industry he's in, which he's been in it for a very long time. And it's like a de-risked investment. I was telling Gary when I met him, I said, this guy told me, he said, investing in crypto. And I was like, okay. He's like, give me a certain amount of money that like if you lost it today, you wouldn't even think twice about it. And so I just was like, okay, here's $5,000. And, like 90 days later, there was like 25 grand in there. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. But then I talked to another guy and he's like, dude, I put 25 grand in and I lost it in 2 days. And I'm like, well, I don't like, is that something we can control or not control? But this is something that the whole world needs, and almost it will always be in control. And so Gary today is with me. Gary, love you, brother. You're a great guy. By the way, it's his birthday today, which is awesome. This guy creates wealthy people. That's what he does. And 100% of you, I know that are watching this, want to become wealthy. I know that without a fact. And if you listen to what Gary talks about today, this is how to create true wealth, okay? And Gary, why don't you unveil what it is that we're going to talk about? Let it rip. And I want you guys to stick around because don't ever assume, oh, I'm not interested. Oh my God, it's unreal. And by the way, a lot of people are blind to this and they don't see it. They know it exists, but they don't know people invest in it. Okay? Gary, introduce yourself. Let it rip.
Yeah, Gary Covert here. And what we're going to be talking about is oil and gas investments. But first, I want to share a little bit about myself. So sometimes when people think about oil and gas, they think about, people that have a ton of money with big cowboy hats in Texas, and it's like something unattainable. But I'm really from kind of definitely a middle class background. Mom and dad had divorced when I was young. We didn't come from a lot of money. We just regular working people. And the regular blueprint is, work really hard and save a little and put it into the stock market. And I think that's how most of us
or an IRA or a Roth.
Yeah. Put it in your
401k.
Yeah, 401k and things like that. And that's all great. But there's a whole universe of other investments out there. We'll talk about it in a second. But, they say, invest in what you know. But if you only stuck with what you knew, like from when you were a kid, you'd still be in a savings account, right? Right? You wouldn't be in the stock market. You might not even be in a bond market. You might not know any of these things. So I think for us to be good providers and protectors, I think everybody wants, every man and mother and
everyone
father
in the world,
wants to be a good protector and provider, right? So to do that, we have to continuously educate ourselves. And there's new things coming up. There's new ways to do it, like crypto and other things. But there's other alternative investments and even...
I would say safer investments, right? Yeah, this is what I like about this. Like, guys, listen to me. If I'm sharing Gary with you, it's for one reason. Because there's a safe investment. And a lot of you that watch this, you want to make a lot of money. Not only when you invest with this, but you also get a huge tax shelter. Right? Which is massive. So you get to make money, you get to make mailbox money, you're investing, and also you're going to pay the money to the IRS anyways, so you get a tax write-off. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Sorry, I just want to tell you, a lot of our people want to make a lot of money. A lot of them do make a lot of money, and this really fits right in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, 100%. And what we really want to do, and what my passion is, because me and my wife, we both started, in corporate and then started our own businesses. And as we got educated on these different kinds of classes, we're always interested in making sure we're growing our passive income. There's limits to how much you can make on your own. You're an expert in helping people scale.
Yep.
But okay, you scaled. You know,
Income and wealth are two different things.
dramatically different.
Yes.
We're making that hard work that you do during the day durable over time for your family over time. You know, as people talk about generational wealth all the time, I'm really about generational success. So this is one part of this is having money over time. We're stewards of this capital over time. And if you want to be a great steward, you have to be dedicated, you have to have morals, and you have to be educated.
Facts.
Right? Yep.
I think a lot of people have financial literacy, wealth literacy. Everybody knows they have to make money. Everybody knows, most people, they come up to me and they say, what should I invest in? What should I invest in? And I say, how much did you make last year? And they're like, I made 80 grand. I'm like, dude, you have an income problem. You don't have an investment problem. You need to go figure out how to make more money. There's a lot of people that are making money right now, and that money, they're just blowing it. They're not putting it in the right places. And if you have a good income, you need to invest it. And that's why if you were to answer, hey, I'm making 300 grand. I'm like, okay, whoa, we need to be investing right now, because you can look up in 10 years and your whole life can be different. I mean, time flies. I mean, this as we're getting older, Gary, that you look up and, when you're in your 20s and 30s and you don't really think about being 60 years old one day. And, but if you're waking up now and you're 40, 50, 60, you're like, dude, can I quit working? Like, is that even an option? And most people right now, they can't quit, do nothing, because they didn't get taught and trained about wealth.
Yeah.
And that's why I love your teaching this.
And one of the big things that people are concerned about these days, and we kind of woke up to it over the last several years, is inflation. And so many people want and need assets that the government can't print.
Yep.
Right? So, the government is borrowing and borrowing, but they're also printing and printing.
Well, my dad, built I'm just saying, a new home 30 years ago for 125, 200 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff's $1 million now. Yeah. I mean, it's like, but people aren't making, 5 times more money.
Yeah. That's why we have to be so smart about, number one, I think people want durable assets, things that they can go touch, either whether it's real estate, commercial real estate, or an apartment complex or a mobile home, but also oil and gas. These are things, these are commodities, and they're really very similar to real estate that you're going to need it.
Yeah.
Oil is going to be in gasoline in your car, and it creates all the material goods that we have within our modern life. And gas is basically electricity. People are talking about data centers
can't live without it
right now, and that's pure electricity.
Yep.
And that's where the natural gas comes in.
Yep. And so tell us about how the investing in that works. How does that work? By the way, you give away a free wealth guide. Yes. Is that right? Okay. If anybody, and I want you to listen to what he's about to say, but if anybody's like, hey, I'm going to go and I want to get this guy's wealth guide for free, I want you to read it. And when I read it, it really opened my eyes. And you can have it. It's free. There's a website here. You'll see it on and what is the website? Say it.
Southwestalts.com.
Yeah, so Southwest and then ALTS.com. So if you're listening to this in your earphones here, southwestalts.com, and you can go, and actually you can download the wealth guide, but you can also set up a call with you. Is that right? Okay, cool. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to do that. But I just want to say, he'll give you the wealth guide. Talk to us about, how does oil and gas investing work? Run us through this, and how, and really how I've heard you talk about the de-risk part.
Yes.
Cover that after you explain what it is.
Yeah, super simple. In oil and gas, there's upstream, midstream, and downstream. Upstream is what I'm talking about. Is where you physically have a well that goes down into the ground and you're extracting oil and gas at the same time. So there's two different commodities depending on the well. Sometimes they're 100% oil, maybe they're 100% gas, or somewhere in the middle. Yeah. So we tend to drill in the Permian Basin, which is the most prolific area in the United States for oil and gas. So if you've been a fan of Landman or that sort of thing, that's Midland, Texas, or Odessa, Texas, and there's thousands and thousands of wells out there. It's very well characterized. So that's where you produce. That's upstream, and then the midstream is all the gatherers that move it, to where it needs to go, and then the downstream would be like the refinery. So we're up at the very top of the where it all starts. So
Okay.
it's very visceral. So what people love about it is, and if you are interested at some point, we have a lot of investors come with us because you can either tell somebody or show somebody. We like to have our investors come and be with us on our well sites and see what it is, because a lot of people are kind of interested, right? They can kick the tires and see the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're producing it right there, and we're producing two different commodities at the same time. The ones that we just recently drilled were 80% oil, 20% gas. So you got two different commodities there. And the way and these are things, that, people will need energy.
How do you make money, and what makes it something that I know that, like, this is safe? Explain how they make money part.
Yeah, it's super easy. So my first introduction to a well, we drove up, and the guy pointed at one valve, and he said, this valve right here makes us dollars, and this valve over here makes us pennies. The dollar was the liquid oil coming out, and the other pipe was the natural gas. So you just sell it to the distributors there, so you can make money right on the site from from the gas extraction. So the little pipe right there, you get paid right there. They just clock it, and you get paid. You get a check for it.
And so basically, when you invest, as the well produces, which it's oil and gas, which is forever producing, once it produces, then you get paid the dividends on the profit.
Exactly. Right. So the investors put in the money to drill the well, or maybe just an existing well. You can buy into the cash flow of an existing well. Either one, we got options.
Okay. And so some are existing, and buying into the cash flow of an existing well is probably a lower
return. Yep.
But it's a lower investment, right? And then getting your own well would be someone that would be like, hey, I want to do this thing. I'm going all in. This is the deal. But they're both very lucrative.
Yeah. It costs millions of dollars to drill a well, so that's why we need investors to come around, and then they share in the returns of that. And what's really interesting, I think a lot of people are probably listening to this. If you have any familiarity with real estate, then the cash flow is very easy for you to understand, and the taxes are very easy for you to understand. So don't get confused or tune out that this is just oil and gas, and it's like, oh, that's so exotic. It's not. It's just another kind of real estate.
The similarities from this in real estate.
Yeah. So in real estate, going left to right, if you're looking at your cash flow or the value, it's going to be a little bit here on the beginning, and then it's going to go up and high and to the right. Oil and gas just flips. So you get almost immediate cash flow within a year. You'll start to be selling oil. Wow. It takes about 4 months to drill a well. So within 6 months,
unless you buy into an existing one.
Exactly. Okay. Then it's immediate. It's just a check right there.
Yeah.
So, but if you're drilling one, which would be the equivalent of like building something, and ground up, then very quickly you can start to make cash flow from that, and it is you get most of your return on the front end. So it's kind of like the real estate was low at the beginning, higher at the end. Yeah. Imagine flipping that around.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And so you can get the cash flow
like
much faster.
Rush.
Yeah. It's so funny. People will say, "Oh, you're locked up in this oil and gas deal for so long." It's like, well, maybe. I mean, you can cash flow for a long time, but real liquidity is wouldn't you say liquidity is like how fast you can get your money out?
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
and that's oil and gas. Usually it's less than 3-year payback.
That's crazy.
Through cash flow.
And the rest is just a bonus.
Yeah, and these things will last for decades.
That's right. Yeah, so you talk about leaving your family something, you make money until you die, and then your children can take them over, and you can even sell them.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like anything, like real estate.
Yeah.
So they are very similar.
It has a durable value. People are always looking for cash flow, and
real estate ain't going nowhere. Wells ain't going nowhere.
Exactly. So if you believe that people are still going to be living in houses, and in those houses they still want to be able to flick the lights on or have modern amenities, then you should at least open up your mind to oil and gas.
Yeah, I love that. And so get the wealth guide. That'll help you a lot. Or they can just set up a call with you, I like to talk to the source, and the fact that Gary allows people to talk to him about stuff, like I love that. And he is the best heart ever. Let's talk about de-risking. Let's talk about Walk me through these three things you were talking about in the office with me. And by the way, when he was sharing this with me, I was like, dude, I want you to share this on my whole channel. And so kind of walk us through this so we can keep learning and educating us more on this.
Yeah. So number one, just don't write off something and say it is risky or isn't. That's just qualitative. So look at the real risks, just face them. And the way that we de-risk it, one is just make sure that you're drilling where other people are drilling in areas that they've made money.
Yeah.
So if you go to the Texas Railroad Commission, they have an interactive map, and you can zoom in. It's Texas Railroad Commission GIS map. And go to the Midland Airport and zoom in, and you will see a dot with lines, and those represent oil and gas wells. You can zoom in, and you'll see thousands of wells just all along Highway 20.
And windmills.
Row after row after row.
Windmills and wells.
Yeah. So where would you drill one? You'd like right next to the other one. And why? Well, because Exxon made money, Chevron made money, Pioneer made money.
Yeah, we're making money now.
Yeah, just do what other people do. So number one, have great acreage. So that is number one, de-risk it that way. Second, and it's not sexy, but be a low-cost operator. If you look at where some of these people are starting, these big majors are starting to slow down a little bit. This drill baby drill is not working so well for everybody. It's because their costs are too high. So they say, well, if our break even is like $40 or $50, why would we want to drill more wells? Well, with some of these smaller operators, their break evens are half that. So you got a huge margin. And then the third thing you can do is you can actually hedge the cash flow. That means a fancy way of just saying lock in the price. So you don't have to make a lot of money. Oil doesn't have to be at 100. It's at like 60 today. The oil doesn't have to be at 100 and you be a speculator where you make money. It's just a cash machine. That's right. Lock in.
That's why I said called the secret cash machine.
Exactly. And you got to protect that cash flow. So you want to make sure you have a hedging program in place. There's other people think different ways about this, but I like to be able to sleep at night. You like sleep at night?
Yeah.
Not worried?
Yeah,
I like that
too. Well,
the
money sits in your bank and, it don't earn nothing there, right? And then you're not getting a write-off.
Yeah. And
then when you invest it, you make more money than it was in your bank. And then you get the write-off. I mean, you just decide how do you want your money.
Yeah. So when you lock in those prices, and we lock them in like 12 months out, about 75% of our production, and then 2 years out, 50%. So a lot, you really kind of lock in, and you leave yourself some room on the upside.
Yeah. So it kind of guarantees that what it's going to be.
Yeah, it does.
I love that.
It does.
Gary, anything else? If I was someone who I knew nothing about this, right? What's the easiest way to dumb down what this is? And then who is this really for? Is this, can you say those, dumb it down, and who is it really for?
It really is for people that have some discretionary income, and they're really passionate about turning their high income into their high wealth. And people who want to be able to turn their daytime into their daytime money into nighttime money. And what I would say is also people that also want to keep their main thing the main thing. So maybe you're great at sales, which you teach. You got a million people. Millions of people are better at that because of you. So if they're great at selling windows, or they're great at selling solar, or they're great at selling cars, or business owners, you want to continue to keep your craft and be better at that 1% every day. But you want to be able to take the fruits of your effort and turn it into something else that's going to produce cash flow, so you can keep the main thing. So it's, in a year later, you're still a better business owner. You're a better leader. Yeah. You're a better salesperson, and you can make even more money, income, and be able to turn that into
this
to wealth.
Is how you multiply.
Yeah, exactly. You stack it up, and that's, I think, now that I say it out loud, I think this is how you stay ahead of the inflation curve, because inflation is just relentless. As long as you're sleeping and you got your money sitting in the bank, or you're not being tax efficient with your income and you're giving away 40% of it to Uncle Sam, I mean, it's hard to get ahead at a 40% deficit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but everyone's doing that. That makes good money.
Yeah. Unless
you're getting in trouble.
Yeah.
But this will keep you out of trouble and make you not pay it.
Yeah. So we de-risk it through those strategies that we talked about. And then we also and it's a commodity. It's an area is going to have durability over time. You don't have to guess. It's predictable. Yeah. and then it has fast payback through cash flow, and then through the tax benefits, it just compresses it. And I think when you can get your money faster, doesn't that in itself kind of de-risk
Yeah, I
something?
love it. Yeah. Anytime I invest in something and I get my money back, everything else is just a bonus. I'm like, man, I need to do that again, or get another one. You know what I'm saying? But whatever it is, it's about investments, guys. That's the only way you're going to become wealthy. Because if you have a job or if you work in a business, no matter what you're making is what you're making. And the minute you stop working, that money's gone. When you do something like an investment, especially like this, you have passive income, which means you do it one time and the money just keeps coming.
Yeah. And you don't have to look at the stock market. You don't have to worry about is my portfolio up or down. It's just producing cash flow. And and maybe you want to work, and most people do, but maybe we have another pandemic. Then you couldn't. So Kim and I, we lived through that with a lot of other people, but we're business owners as well. And she's in the travel business. So she owns a travel agency. I mean, that income disappeared for 2 years.
Yeah, that was especially the travel stuff. Those people got really hurt. Restaurant owners, travel people.
Yes. Yeah.
They got stuck.
So being able to build a portfolio, I think the prudent thing to do is to build a portfolio that includes things that can appreciate over time, but also has that durable cash flow. So in the event that you have some issue that comes up for you and your family, or maybe your industry, or things happen all the time. We've got we actually have an investor that has health issues, and this has just been huge for them.
Yeah, give me the example. And now that we're towards the end of this, because we were talking, you were giving me a bunch of examples. You're saying, guy invests, a year in, he gets 50% of his return.
Yeah. So
welcome.
Yeah, this is one of our long-term investors, been with us, for years, and they're in a very high tax exposure bracket. And yeah, they were able to get a 6-figure return in 1 year, and we were able to cover them through the taxes so that they didn't have any tax exposure as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. And there's levels to this, guys. I would say 2 things. Number one, if you're watching this right now, go to the website on the screen, okay, which is going to be southwestalts.com, and download the Wealth Guide. I would say everybody get the Wealth Guide no matter what. You got to get the Wealth Guide. And then secondly, if you're like, man, I have a question, Gary doesn't use a lot of social media. I think the best place to go is go there and set up a consultation call.
Yeah, that would be ideal. We're all about communication and getting people over this hump of it's really just understanding. But once people, especially if you've ever invested in a house, I mean, come on,
same thing.
It's very easy to understand. Yeah.
And what I love is that gas isn't going nowhere. Oil's not going nowhere. It's going through the roof. It's just going to continue to make more money. And it's a no-brainer. And, I never really understood that people could invest in this. And then me and Gary got close and I started realizing, I'm like, dude, this is like, talking about like taking the risk out of it. Like, it's huge. And then secondly, everybody's searching for big incomes, and then when you get the big income, you realize you pay 40% taxes. And so like, what can I do to offset that? This is it. And then everybody wants passive income. And it's like, how do I create passive income? We got to open an MLM. You got to do something here. It's like, you don't have to work doing this. You just deploy some of your capital that you're making, put it into something, you get a big return, and you get it for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And you don't have to like build up a short-term rental portfolio. You don't have to be a landlord. We just let you do the main thing, refine your craft, sharpen your saw. Keep your family, in front in mind. Be a better person.
Of everything? Is it anything that they have to worry about or do, or when they invest, everything's handled?
Everything's handled. So all the all the operational issues that and there are a lot related to oil and gas. You don't need to worry your head about it. I've worried about that enough. That's why all my hair's falling out.
I love it. Yeah, we're twin brothers. Guys, number one, you guys met Gary. Amazing guy. Super cool, nothing to sell. I'm sitting downstairs, I'm talking to him. He's sharing me, with me like what he's doing. It's happening on a big scale. A lot of my friends that are doing this are killing it with this. And I'm just like, no one knows about this. And I'm like, okay, let's educate. And so you guys, now that you've been educated, you have a responsibility. Like now I need to, like figure out like what does my opportunity for wealth look like in my family? Like how am I going to build that? I'm not going to build it just by working hard, buying nice cars, buying nice houses, spending my money on stuff, and then looking up at the end of the year and I blew all my income. You know,
100%.
that's what
So I would say, if you're aligned with the idea of generational success, not just wealth, we're really talking about wealth, but if you're aligned with the concept of generational success, and you feel like you are that kind of person that wants to step up and make a great income, transition the values to your family, but also create the wealth that's going to help, support all the things that you want to do in life and be that great provider, then you need to educate yourself. So please download the guide. Go to southwestalts.com, download that guide, schedule some time with us. We'd love to talk to you about that.
Good. I love it. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you, Gary. You're amazing, dude. I knew this whenever we went to drop this video. No one would guess this investment. And it's one of the biggest investments that's growing right now. You guys have straight access to Gary. Go to his website, southwestalts.com, download the wealth guide, and then you can also set up a consultation call with him and just ask him any question. Doesn't matter what it is. Pick his brain, get your people on the call, ask him any question. And who's it for again? People that earn good income and that want to create passive income by investing in something safe that'll always be around, oil and gas. And so, love you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Happy birthday, guys. God bless, and we'll see you in the next video.